The Giza Plateau in Egypt remains the epicenter of one of history's most enduring mysteries. Standing defiant against the erosion of time, the Great Pyramid is the only surviving member of the seven wonders of the ancient world. For centuries, it has inspired endless speculation. While mainstream Egyptologists maintain that it was built as a tomb for the pharaoh Khufu, a growing body of researchers argues that the structure is far too complex to be merely a burial vault. They contend that the Great Pyramid is a repository of advanced scientific knowledge, mathematical, geodetic, and astronomical data that predates our modern civilization by thousands of years. Since the first scientific surveys of the Great Pyramid were conducted, engineers and mathematicians have been baffled by the precision encoded into its very foundations. A landmark survey in 1925 revealed that the Great Pyramid is aligned to true north within 3/60 of a single degree. This is a level of accuracy that rivals the most sophisticated construction projects of the modern era. When one considers the phenomenon of precession, the slow 26,000-year wobble of the Earth's axis, the alignment becomes even more profound. Theorists suggest that if we look back in time, the pyramid was likely aligned perfectly to true north at the moment of its construction, implying the builders possessed an intimate understanding of planetary mechanics. The placement of the monument on the globe appears equally intentional. Geographers have discovered that if you project a great circle line through the pyramid's cardinal and ordinal directions, these lines traverse more landmass than any other location on Earth. Effectively, the Great Pyramid is situated at the exact geographical center of the Earth's landmass. For ancient builders to achieve this, they would have required a complete map of the planet, including continents that were supposedly unknown to them. Further evidence of advanced knowledge is found in the units of measurement used in the pyramid's design. The builders did not use the inches or meters we know today, but rather the pyramid cubit. Mathematical analysis has determined that this cubit is exactly 1/25 millionth of the Earth's polar diameter. This means the architects knew the precise distance from the North Pole to the South Pole and scaled their building unit accordingly. Additionally, the perimeter of the Great Pyramid at its base, the measurement is approximately 365 cubits, an exact representation of the solar year. When scaled up, the pyramid serves as a mathematically perfect model of the Northern Hemisphere, incorporating accurate fractions of latitude and longitude. Perhaps the most startling piece of data involves the pyramid's geographic coordinates. In the age of satellite technology, researchers noted that the latitude of the Great Pyramid, 29,9792458 circ. matches the speed of light traveling through space, 299,792,458 meters per second. To ancient astronaut theorists, this convergence of planetary data and physics is impossible to dismiss as mere coincidence. Tombs or gateways to the stars. The mystery of ancient construction extends far beyond Giza. Across the world, from the Valley of the Kings in Egypt to the Taj Mahal in India and the Temple of Inscriptions in Palenque, Mexico, humanity has erected massive monuments ostensibly for the dead. Mainstream archaeology categorizes these sites as tombs, final resting places for kings and emperors. However, the sheer scale and complexity of these structures have led alternative researchers to ask a provocative question. Could they have served a function beyond housing a corpse? Ancient texts and traditions consistently link these burial sites to the stars. The architecture often features shafts or alignments pointing to specific constellations. According to the ancient astronaut theory, these structures were not static vaults, but functional devices, stargates, or portals designed to facilitate the soul's journey to other dimensions or worlds. This perspective aligns with the belief systems of ancient cultures, which held that life on Earth was merely a preparation for a destiny in the heavens. The soul was expected to return to the source, often described as a realm inhabited by the gods. If these gods were actually extraterrestrial beings, then the tomb might be better understood as a launch pad or a trans-dimensional gateway. The technical manuals of Saqqara. To understand the mechanics of this journey, theorists point to the necropolis of Saqqara, located south of Cairo. Here lies the pyramid of King Teti, a ruler of the 6th dynasty. While the exterior is ruined, the interior walls are covered in the oldest religious writings in the world, the pyramid texts, dating back to 2400 BC. Archaeologists view the pyramid texts as a collection of prayers and magic spells intended to protect the deceased pharaoh in the afterlife. However, proponents of the ancient astronaut theory offer a different interpretation. They argue that these texts are technical manuals. The writings describe the pharaoh ascending to the sky on iron boats or rays of light to join the gods who, according to Egyptian chronology, physically lived among humans thousands of years prior. In this view, the texts provide specific instructions on how to operate the machinery or achieve the state of consciousness necessary to open the Stargate and travel to the home world of the creators, the cosmic compass, the scarab. The search for extraterrestrial connections in ancient Egypt also delves into biology. The scarab beetle is one of the most ubiquitous symbols in Egyptian iconography, appearing on everything from jewelry to temple walls. For decades, historians believed the beetle was sacred simply because its habit of rolling dung balls resembled the sun, moving across the sky. The beetle became the symbol of Khepri, the god of the rising sun and rebirth. However, a scientific discovery in 2013 completely reshaped this narrative. Biologists found that the dung beetle is the only insect on Earth that navigates using the Milky Way. Even without the moon or sun, the beetle can maintain a straight line by locking onto the galactic band of stars. This implies that the ancient Egyptians, who held the scarab as sacred 5,000 years ago, recognized a cosmic connection in this tiny creature that modern science only recently uncovered. This biological fact leads to a re-evaluation of the god Khepri. He is often depicted as a man with a scarab beetle for a head. While traditionalists see this as metaphor, ancient astronaut theorists suggest a literal interpretation. If the sun was actually a flying craft or chariot of the gods, then Khepri, the entity that moved it, was the pilot. The depiction of a figure with a hard, insect-like head might be an attempt by ancient artists to draw an extraterrestrial being wearing a helmet, or perhaps a being that possessed insectoid features. The reverence for the scarab may stem from the fact that it was the only earthly creature that shared the navigational behaviors of the star-faring visitors. Osiris, the machine god. The most radical theory concerns Osiris, the lord of the underworld. Osiris is unique among Egyptian gods. He is said to have lived on Earth as a king before being murdered and dismembered by his brother Seth. The myth states that Seth tore Osiris into 14 pieces and scattered them. Isis, Osiris's wife, hunted down the pieces, reassembled them, and resurrected him. From a biological standpoint, reassembling a dismembered corpse to life is impossible. However, from a technological standpoint, this story makes perfect sense. If Osiris was not a biological entity, but a machine, an advanced android or robot, then being taken apart and put back together is entirely plausible. Support for the robot Osiris theory is found in the Djed pillar, the primary symbol associated with the god. Often described as Osiris's backbone, the Djed looks nothing like a spine. Instead, it resembles a modern high-voltage insulator or a Tesla coil, a vertical column with horizontal conductive plates. Temple reliefs at Abydos depict the Djed pillar as a massive object, with Isis and the pharaoh manipulating it. In some carvings, Isis appears to be inserting her hand into the device or feeding it energy. If the Djed was a power source or a battery, and Osiris was the technological entity it powered, the myth of resurrection becomes a story of repair. The magic used by Isis was actually advanced engineering, allowing the extraterrestrial leader to be reactivated. This theory suggests that the gods of Egypt were highly sophisticated beings, perhaps partly mechanical, whose technology was misinterpreted as magic by the early humans who worshipped them. When viewed collectively, the mathematical perfection of the pyramid, the stargate function of tombs, the technical nature of religious texts, the cosmic navigation of the scarab, and the mechanical attributes of Osiris, a compelling narrative emerges. It suggests that the ancient world was not primitive, but was touched by a level of advancement that we are only just beginning to understand.